There is a quote attributed to Henry Ford that says, "It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning." Ford knew something that you don't. Take out your wallet, look at the bills inside. You have been taught that this is money, that it has value because you worked hard to get it and because the government backs it. You have been taught that banks are safe places, steel vaults where they keep your savings to lend them to others. All of that is a lie, a carefully constructed illusion. The reality is much darker. Physical money, the bills and coins you can touch, represents less than 3% of all the money that exists in the world. Where is the other 97%? It doesn't exist. It's not gold, it's not silver, it's not even paper. It is digits, electronic signals on a server. And the scariest part isn't that it is digital. The scariest part is its origin, because that money wasn't earned by anyone. It was created out of thin air with a simple keyboard, the exact moment someone signed a debt. We live in a system where private banks have the power of a god, creating wealth from nothing. And we, the 99%, have the fate of mortals, giving our lives to pay back a debt that should never have existed. Today, on Missing Record, we open the black box of the financial system. Welcome to the phantom money scam. Chapter 1. The Piggy Bank Myth. Let's start by breaking the biggest myth of all, the myth of the intermediary. Since school, we are told a fairy tale. We are told, Grandma deposits $100 in the bank. The bank keeps that money safe and then lends it to an entrepreneur to open a bakery. In this story, the bank is just a middleman moving money from point A to point B. If this were true, the bank couldn't lend more money than it has in storage, right? But reality is brutally different. In 2014, the Bank of England published a report titled Money Creation in the Modern Economy. On the very first page, they destroy the myth. Banks do not act simply as intermediaries, lending out deposits that savers place with them. So what do? Imagine you go to get a $300,000 mortgage to buy your house. The bank doesn't call 3,000 grandmas to ask for their savings. The bank doesn't look in its vault to see if it has the cash. In that microsecond, the money appears in your account. It didn't move from anywhere. It wasn't subtracted from anyone's account. It was born right there, like a magic trick. The bank just created 300,000 new dollars that are added to the nation's money supply. They created the money by typing numbers. You, in exchange, signed a contract promising to give 30 years of your real labor to pay it back, plus interest. The bank's money is air. Your labor is real. Chapter 2. The Goldsmiths of London, the origin of the crime. How did we get to this madness? To understand the crime, we have to go to the original crime scene, London, 17th century. Back then, money was gold, heavy, hard to transport, and easy to steal. People started leaving their physical gold in the vaults of goldsmiths for safety. The goldsmith would give them a paper receipt that said, valid for 1 ounce of gold. People realized it was easier to pay with those papers than to go get the gold every time. The papers became currency. But the goldsmiths noticed something curious. Almost no one came to withdraw their physical gold at the same time. Only about 10% of people ever claimed it. The gold just sat there gathering dust in the safe. Then, human greed made its entrance. The goldsmiths thought, why don't we issue receipts for gold that we don't have? They started lending paper receipts to people who needed credit. For every ounce of real gold in the vault, they issued 10 paper receipts. They became immensely rich collecting interest on gold that didn't exist. When someone got suspicious, the goldsmith showed them the real gold in the vault to calm them down. But if all the customers had come on the same day to claim their gold, the fraud would have been discovered, and the goldsmith would have ended up hanging from a rope. The incredible thing is, instead of banning this fraud, governments realized it was useful for funding wars. So they legalized it. They gave it a fancy name, Fractional Reserve Banking. And that is exactly the system we use today. Only now, there is no gold in the vault. Chapter 3. The multiplier effect, the math of chaos. Today, this system works with a reserve ratio. Let's say it is 10%. If you deposit $1,000 in the bank, you believe they are there, kept for you. But the bank can legally take 900 of those dollars and lend them to someone else. They only keep 100, just in case. Now imagine the chain. You have 1,000 in your account, or so you think. The bank lends 900 to John. John deposits those 900 in his bank. John's bank takes those 900, keeps 10%, and lends 810 to Mary. Mary deposits the 810. Her bank lends 729 to Peter. If you add up all the money that you, John, Mary, and Peter supposedly have in your accounts, magically, those initial $1,000 have turned into 10,000 bank dollars. But only 1,000 real dollars exist. The rest is phantom money. It is a promise to pay. It is a game of musical chairs on a global scale. As long as the music plays, we all feel rich. But if the music stops, there is only one chair for every 10 people. Chapter 4. Money is debt, modern slavery. This brings us to the most uncomfortable truth of all. If banks create money by granting loans, then all money is debt. Every dollar, euro, or pound in your pocket came into existence because someone, somewhere, went into debt. It could have been your mortgage, a corporate loan, or government debt. Think about it for a second. If tomorrow, by a divine miracle, every person on the planet managed to pay off all their debts, what would happen? Would we be free? No. We would go back to the economic Stone Age. If all debt is paid, all money disappears. Our economy needs us to be in debt to function. It needs you to need that car loan. It needs the government to print bonds. It is a system designed for perpetual slavery, because when the bank creates the loan money, it creates the principal. But it does not create the money for the interest. If there are $100 in the world and the bank lends them to you at 5%, you have to pay back 105, but only 100 exist. Where do you get the missing 5? You have to compete with your neighbor, or the bank has to create more debt to inject those 5 into the system. It is a hamster wheel that must spin faster and faster just to avoid collapsing. Chapter 5. Inflation is not an accident, it is a robbery. You have surely noticed that life is getting more expensive. They tell you it's because of the war, the oil, the supply chain. Sometimes that is true. But the root cause is the system itself. When private banks and central banks inject trillions of new dollars into the system, the value of your labor is diluted. Imagine you have a pizza cut into 8 slices. If you cut the same pizza into 100 slices, you have more pieces, but you don't have more food. Each piece is smaller. That is inflation. It is a silent tax that no one voted for. Those who get the money first, the big banks, the corporations connected to the government, buy real assets at low prices. By the time the money reaches you, in your salary, prices have already gone up. This is called the Cantillon effect. It is the main mechanism by which the rich get richer and the middle class disappears. It's not that houses are more expensive. It's that your money is worth less because there is too much phantom money chasing the same houses. Conclusion. The king is naked. The modern financial system is not based on gold. It is not based on math. It is based on one single thing: confidence, faith. It is a religion. We believe the numbers on the screen are real, so we work for them, we kill for them, and we die for them. But history teaches us that all fiat money systems eventually end the same way, returning to their intrinsic value: 0. It happened in Rome, it happened in Weimar Germany, it happened in Venezuela, and it is happening today, slowly, across the West. The day people lose faith, the day everyone runs to the bank at the same time, we will discover that the emperor is naked, that the vaults are empty, and that we have traded our limited time on Earth for a digital illusion. The question isn't if the system will collapse, the question is when, and when that happens, what will you have that is real? I am Fernando, and this was Missing Record.